has no innate way of escaping beyond that stone gaze, and in a lot of cases you go for spells that allow you to platform. So you're gonna have to play around that window. I think the key thing for Aster is to play that window of vulnerability of Nothing to Say on the Medusa, and at the same time, Nothing to Say has to be very cautious. He has to, at the very least, keep himself with the option for the stone gaze when he gets jumped.
Aster, we're going to say hello to the side of Ehome bot lane. Fade, tag team comes up. Sylar is going to be there with the slow as well. Fade's going to cause a lot of damage. XXS doesn't really want to go for Hoof Stomp, but he's forced to make sure they don't chase. But no, they get the sound cancellation and the kill onto Fade. Just that chilling touch from Y from a mile away. And that is a terrible start for this pos for Rubik.
Not good. Like, they expand the region there. I think that the bigger loss than the kill. You're gonna have less to play with in this lane, and Fade, he plays a great Rubik. When you get a rough start like that, you're just gonna have to expend additional resources to sustain XXS in this lane, and it's not looking to be an easy lane here.
Aster try to return the favor here. Faith is providing a lot of harassment out to Poker. Does take the bounty and will orb away to steal the other one. Ehome will get 4 bounty runes for their trouble and a first blood. Aster could not have asked for a worse start.
Oh yeah. It's just rough, right? You lose the first blood, you lose your salve from that bot lane, you lose all 4 runes. Now Fate Beyond's just gonna have a little bit more gold to play with. He is gonna be ferrying himself out additional regen. So you're gonna have a harder time zooming at his puck. And it's one of the things with Ehome. We talk about Fate Beyond every single time. He just gives you that consistent lane. When you get a good start like this, it's gonna be much harder to contest him.
Out of this bot lane, I talked about in the drafting phase how Fade and XXS should have a pretty good time with this lift and Hoof Stomp combination. Then again though, Sylar has been pretty good at keeping range and just remaining safe in the laning stage, so I don't know if they're really going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, we saw that same struggle last time with the Rubik Mars. So it's something that Aster has to try to maximize, but Sylar is just playing on range, to mention, and it's hard to close that gap, especially when the creeps are shoved in.
So he also tends to harass them a lot as XXS losing heaps of HP again. Y will come in with the chilling touch, forcing out the salve already of XXS. Of course, having a look over to that mid lane, Chuan on the Pugna is going to be up against that Medusa, and that is generally speaking a Pugna favored lane. Chuan should have a pretty decent time here.
Definitely. It's going to be hard for him to find that farm. You have to worry about the Decrepify, you have to worry about the Nether Blast as well. Early on, you're just not a tanky hero at all, and that is easy to punish as the Pugna.
Decrepify up. You have Mystic Snake there or nothing to say. He won't try to commit it though, but Chuan will punish with a Nether Blast. Chuan will find an Arcane Rune to put. I mean, that's just going to be hell for the next minute.
Oh no.
Spamming non-stop.
Yeah, and Nothing to Say is holding out on that third still. Either Vanish Shield or the split shot. He wants to get that opportunity for the split, but he might have to go for the shield. Just with the amount of pressure Chuan is giving.
Looking over at top lane, SCCC and Baboka can't go up against Sin Q and Fate Beyond. We did just see SCCC falling very, very low on the Naga Siren. Faith, Sin Q being very aggressive with this combination. The thing is, when you have Baboka there on the Oracle, there's not really much he can do to slow them down. So he can't do much to save the Naga if they do make the jump.
No, it's going to be a much more passive lane faster. They're going to have to just secure farm for themselves, not trade too often, because that can be punished hard by Ehome. One little misstep is going to make it a lot harder for themselves. I think the key thing is, once Ehome hits level 3 on Sin Q, he's going to have all the control and damage he wants. So before then, they're just going to be playing this sort of harassment with Fate Beyond, and they're already having a fun time enough with just the puck doing the work.
I don't think so.
Silent. Reaching out more harassment on Fade. Just not really concerned at all about this combo. They haven't really tried to expend that lift into the stomp. XXS does have quite a few retaliate charges available. Now they'll try for it. A lot of damage going to come out, but the whirling axis was already there from Sylar. So XXS couldn't actually get any right clicks off. Retaliate essentially going to be used for farming capes, but that's all he's going to use it for.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Aster. Again, that combination not quite picking off yet. And Sylar, they do expend a salve onto the troll, but that's just gonna allow him to farm up, and he is farming relatively well. Still kind of behind XXS, but with a lane like this.
Top lane, but Boke is going to be in massive trouble and a very easy kill. Just the shard set of death for CQ was enough. To make matters worse for Aster, SCCC did lose his courier, and it did have the circlet as well as a salve, so he doesn't have any regen available on this Naga Siren, and it looks like he may just be forced to jungle. So I don't really know how he's going to sustain this lane any longer without that regen.
Nah, it's going to be a rough time. And this is that point where the Tusk just does a lot of work, right? Level 3, level 2 tag team. Once you get up and close a distance, the damage is just way too much to deal with. It's something that Aster has to be completely aware of. It's down to Baboka to really pop it every single time. As long as Baboka's the one dying and CCC still gets a farm up, you're still winning. You know, overall, it's not a good situation, but you're gonna be happy enough if you had to lose someone like that.
It's going very well, at least for Aster in the mid lane. Chuan, 32 and 12 on the Pugner, 21 and 3 on the Deucer. So he has done a very, very good job of winning out this lane. Forcing Xingqiu to rotate now. The Deucer says, I've had enough of that lane, I'm just going to farm the jungle camps a bit. This should give a bit of space for Xingqiu to get some XP up on the Tusk. But never mind, nothing to say, he is going to come back now. But Chuan has made it tough. Like, he is not allowing the Seducer to do whatever she wants. And yeah, as soon as she gets close to Crepify, Life Drain, and she is forced to back off.
Yeah, that damage that flies out, especially when the Medusa does not kill up Mana Shield. There's really not much nothing to say can do there. He's just sitting down. This is that window of vulnerability that Aster needs to expand upon. As long as nothing is kills up like this, it's going to take him a while to be tanky. I think he's going to go for the greedy build into level 10. And maybe that's when you see the Stone Gaze, although of course he can still opt for it early without shield. Doesn't feel like Stone Gaze is going to be enough by itself.
But they might try to make a plan to XXS though. Xingqiu is there with what they have. They don't have Snowball, but they have Shards. They'll slow him up. Shards will be perfect for Xingqiu, and he activates a tag team. That's going to be a very easy Centaur kill. That'll give Ehome a 3-0 lead. And a 1k net worth advantage for this Radiant side. I mean, if this keeps up, Aster, they're going to fall very, very far behind. They've lost 2 out of 3 lanes already.
It's rough. They are hanging off the back of the Naga Siren now to just find that farm. I think that's the one lane they can only really hope for. Sure, the Medusa, nothing to say, is not having a great time. Pugna is finding that superior farm, but your Naga's just suffering way too much for that to be worthwhile at this moment. They've got to clear out these towers soon, especially since Chuan's already level 7 anyway. He's got the damage out. Just clear out this one with the Nether Blasts and start pressuring the jungle of Ehome. Otherwise, nothing to say, is just gonna get big again.
XXS and the Centaur really being shut out of this lane now. Doesn't feel very confident to come back in. Silo
Why?
going to be able to free farm on the troll. Mid lane though. Why ends up going down on the AA. Looks like he was just trying to soak some XP, and of course Fade with the rotation again on the Rubik does set up a kill. Nice little pick up there from Aster. That'll be the first kill of the game for them.
Yeah, it's going to allow them to apply that pressure onto this mid-tier one. And if they take that out, it's going to be harder for Nothing to farm up, which means that Ehome has to toss supports to help that out, which means that SCCC will get some space. I think that's the big takeaway from this movement, although there are rotations in. Ehome
I really want this do something. Ehome going in, nice snowball, connecting on to Q with the shards as well. They'll find Fade, the Pugner goes down, and Babok is the only one left. He'll be able to walk out of there, but man, it's Q with that snowball, just setting up a perfect gank.
Yeah, Q movement all across the map, paying off dividends for Ehome. They hold on to that tier 1, punish that forward movement from Aster. They had 2 supports there. They were feeling confident for that mid tier 1. They didn't have enough, and it's going to be sitting pretty there, which means you're still going to have issues with SCCC. He's not going to be as free to farm the top lane. He's going to have to dip into that jungle, which he has now. It can be still a bit of a slow process. You have the same thing going on with Sylar, and he's had better farm than the Nagasar so far. So he's hitting his timings right. The Nog is not quite yet. Nothing to say. He's still farming freely in the jungle every now and again. And the punishment from Aster towards this Naga is just not there. Like, this is a very greedy pick. This is a very greedy build. Nothing to say. Level 9 for 4/4. His skill does finally have Stone Gaze, so now it's gonna be kind of tricky to jump her, right? You need to really get that stun lock on, and should Stone Gaze doesn't fly out to finish off that dude.
Very true. But they are going to roam in down to the bot lane. They'll find Q. He's completely surrounded. Lift is there before he can snowball, so now he's been trapped up. Nether Blast, and they will burst him. They want to steal that outpost away from the side of Ehome, but Dream Core comes in. They're going to find Ehome not allowing this to go down as they find Schwank right off the bat. That Dream Core was huge. There's Stampede on Y. They want to get that kill. Cold Feet came out. Sylar, he won't stop chasing. He does want that instead. He does find it. Fate, do you have some follow-up damage? He'll throw the orb out. XXS Hoofstock, it will be dodged, and they'll find another. So they'll lose their AA, they protect their outpost, and they find 2 core kills on Ehome. Aster aren't really winning anything out of this game so far.
They're not trading favorably at all. This early aggression from Aster, it's the right move. It's just not executed cleanly enough. Ehome, they've been coming in, punishing hard, 50 on. Just for the right timing on that TP to drop the Dream Coil and interrupt the capture and turn it on its head. I'm not sure what Aster expected. Like, they didn't have an eye on Fabian. They knew he could just TP right in. Maybe the capture would be fast enough, but they lose out on every single thing they could lose there. At the very least, CCC is supposed to be free, but now Q is on top of it.
That's not good. Q.
Oh no.
SCCC has no song. Dream Call does connect just barely. Fade Beyond jumps in with the silence. They'll get the false promise out, but they'll go after Baboka instead. Baboka understands he's going to go down here. He'll be happy as long as SCCC gets out of line, and he does.
That was a pretty close call. Q with the good blocks. The tree just blocking that escape route of that Naga, forcing Baboka to sacrifice himself. That will allow the tier 1 to be taken as well. So that is more control going the way of Ehome. The jungle is shrinking for SCCC. That forward half of the jungle now very unsafe to farm in, and you can see Ehome have very deep aggressive wards to keep watching this jungle as well.
Is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Wow.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Very
attack.
deep in the Radiant side jungle. Ehome though won't spot him out. Aster looking to try and apply more pressure on this T1 mid.
Is under attack.
Fortify is going to be there from Ehome, and it looks like they will start rotating to defend this. Of course, it's very easy for the Nether Blast to take this T1, and yeah, there's no hope saving it now. Aster do grab it. They want to try and get that Radiant side jungle control. They actually draw a line out straight to Nothing to Say. Problem with that is Nothing to Say, he'll just TP straight back into mid and start pumping up that creep wave.
Yeah, a bit optimistic there. There is some good wards once again from Ehome to spot out the rotation in. It's never going to be an easy time finding more kills, although it's all from Ehome. Trying to find him.
Snowball on a Naga illusion. They threw everything out apart from the Dream Core. They'll find the right Naga.
No?
But SCCC commits the song. I guess he thought they were going to come back in. They were already backing off, but he just didn't want to risk it.
It's fair enough, right? Like, you want to ensure you're farming well as a Naga, just get yourself out safe. You have to be using that spell anyway, or hopefully you aren't to get yourself out still. You see Aster, you're still playing on that Raging jungle. Jump in.
Stampede, mid lane, they really want Sylar to be a massive kill to Decrepify, and he just explodes. If you get the Decrepify off with all the follow-up damage, it's really easy to get Sylar down before that BKB's up.
Oh yeah.
Exactly what they do.
Just good commitment, finally paying off to find that troll. Not quite the big target they want. I think they still really want to punish Nothing to Say more, but they will have to suffer for it. Of course, that does mean Styler is stuck kind of in a rut. His farm isn't as good as the Pug and even the Naga at this point. So Nothing to Say is holding most of that network. 8-4 to go with Ehome, but a slight lead towards Aster, and that's down to the farm SCC has, and of course the early lead they've gotten with Juan.
He's just trying to go for that standard Manta build that you do see on the Narg Sirens, and that essentially just allows him to farm even faster. It's not like he's going to get involved once he picks that up. He'll finish it off. He won't go for the quick defusal, unlike Sylar, who is getting the quick defusal. And I was going to ask you what kind of item build you saw this troll going. It seems like he still is very, very comfortable with this defusal build.
It just shows that Sylar understands that he has to face supportive aggression because he has to bleed that space. Nothing to Say. It's the same thing in game 1. You have to give a lot of space to that Tinker. It's the same thing here. He's going to have to bleed that space to the Medusa. Troll with defusal is pretty darn powerful. I mean, I think the key thing is his BKB timing is much more important. Once that's up and running, you're going to have a harder time from Aster to keep the score in check, and I believe that is going to be the next item after the defusal is up. A good can from Aster, though. Can they turn something here in the pit? No.
Maybe he's really in the pit. They're just standing outside of it.
Radiant's
SCC, he scouts
bottom
it
tower is under
out.
attack.
Knows nobody's really there. No threat. It's not like you have a Slav this time around anyway to give that corrosive haze, so it was a bit of a strange Roshan attempt if there was going to be one. Still Nothing to Say. Just going to keep farming up on this Dusa, trying to pick up a Manta of his own. Already has the Yasha and the Dragon Lance, so... Let's see when he is ready to get involved. Aster though, be aggressive again. Sin Q will spot out XXS. XXS has Stampede, but doesn't commit yet. And now Fade, he loops around, but Say is there. We're going to burst his Rubik down, but they'll also find the Tusk, and now Fade. He'll find the Dream Call. XXS will break it. The false promise will be forced from Baboka. That'll be enough. A support for a support. Both teams get out.
Does feel a bit better for Ehome. At the very least, the kill did go onto our troll, so Sylar does get majority of that goal. That's still, you know, at the very least, they still have a Stampede on Aster's side if they need it. But this open up that mid for a bit of a fight as Ehome do set up here.
Lift is going to be there on Fade. He has already ordered and will just essentially silence away. Nothing to Say. Bit of the Stone Gaze just to ensure that Faith Beyond didn't die. But without the Stone Gaze, doesn't feel confident enough to keep forcing the tower, so he will let it go. And, I mean, the Naga was pushing in the top lane, so he'll just go farm that up instead on the Medusa.
Yeah, the one thing for Aster, all these movements are successfully buying space for SCCC. So all those forward wards earlier on not paying off, they haven't managed to actually kill off the Naga even once in this game. That does mean the farm is racking up. Not quite to the level of a Medusa, but it is comparable.
Oh, smoke on smoke. Ehome, they know that Ehome was on the high ground because of that scan. Smoked up for Boka. Smoke gets broken.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Ehome's waiting for the right moment. They find the Boka, but they'll jump on Fade first. Dream Call, it's massive. And free with the Ice Blast. This is going to be really bad for Aster, as they are just going to get melted. XXS, actually Life Drake trying to help Chuan. It will do nothing. XXS also falls.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The Ice Blast stopping the Life Drain from healing Chuan on the Pugna. Now the Roshan will be a very, very easy target for Ehome.
Yeah, not only that, the creep would manage to take that mid-tier one as well. Although there is still a song on SCC, is he going to try to do something here? No, Ehome back out.
Radiant's
Spreading with the illusions.
is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Top lane. Triple C. Manta up. Going for the defusal next. Gotta be careful to get ganked here though. Faith is running up with Sylar, who also has his own defusal up.
That's going to be a scary timing for Naga. Once that the fuel is up, she can actually join these fights. She's not going to be as tanky as you'd expect, of course. It is still early on in the game, and that is just 2 major items for her. But that's when the damage really racks up. That's when the Medusa is going to get hurt a lot if they're not careful. So you're going to have to be very cautious with Nothing to Say. They can't allow Medusa to be up in front, facing off against the Naga Siren all by itself.
Nothing to Say has a Divine queued up already.
Sweet. Sweet. Just the confidence. There's good damage, bro.
Mid lane, nice setup here from Aster. Won't quite engage all the way. Faith, he'll get out though. Orb is going to be there from Fade.
Oh.
Now, snare, Ice Blast flying in, and Privacy has to be careful, and they will throw out the False Promise. This should be a dead Tusk, and Chuan will pick it up with another blast. Once again, both teams do back off to their respective sides of the river. Neither one really wanting to initiate all the way yet.
It's fair enough. Like, both sides are still farming up. You've got these farm-heavy cores that do need a lot more to get going. I'm very curious to see whether or not Nothing does finish the Divine. Like, that is a hell lot of damage. Allows you to really just take care of these fights. It's just, well, you're squishy. You know, until that 25, you're just innately squishy if you don't itemize for some stats.
Fade just trying to solo one to say, hey. Oh, Ice Blast will come out. Fade, he could be in trouble. Fade's Edict, though, will save him. Boca with the quick thinking. Fade will pick up a nice little support kill and protect his own outpost. At the same time as that, the Fusel is now completely finished on SCCC.
Yeah, that's going to be all the damage coming out here from Naga. So they can feel a bit more confident in these fights if they show up to get both sides. They tend to play like this. We saw this kind of pacing in Game 1 as well, where there would be sporadic damage, mainly just the supports falling, and no big commitment until the mid-game. So it's going to be a while longer until that commitment does come out. Of course, you do have the blink up on XS as well. So at the very least, Aster have an easier way of setting up these fights.
Really a question of when Aster's ready though. They'll smoke up, XXS and Fade. It's gonna be together.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're gonna run into 4 though. Ehome have the high ground. They'll loop around, XXS thinking about running up the stairs. SinQ trying to steal the outpost, but he gets stunned up. Still a lot of heroes around to help. They will find SinQ. Ehome, they back off. They think there's more than 2, and in fact there is. There's now 4 available from Aster. Instead, Aster will go ahead and try to clean up that bot T2 tower. There'll be no defense, so it will be a free tower for them. And Ehome, we're trying to do the same thing up at top. By Faith Beyond forcing out the False Promise from the Boca. But he will not find the T2 yet.
Yeah, that's a good take for Aster. Just slowly chipping away at the map control Ehome does have left. That is going to allow them easier invasions in the jungle. I would love to see a couple of wards drop here. It is setting up for it. And with that information now, it's going to be harder for Ehome to have that free farm they need on the Naga, because it looks like Nothing is not diverging from that line. So it'll be early damage pickup for him. Until then,
I love it.
Yeah, until then, he's just not going to show, right? He gets the Sacred Relic up. Damage is there.
He's all in.
Just half of it. Yeah, all in. He's got to go for it now. And look, once he comes out with it, it's going to be a lot of damage, right? Like, the issue is, if SCCC gets up close to him, and the illusions live true and the Stone Gaze is extended, you're not going to survive long. Like, that's the key issue, the survivability of Nothing to Say. Granted, he has been spacing quite nicely, right? These last fights, he hasn't been far forward enough to be punished, so is pretty good for me. Like, they know how far they can push this hero. There is a smoke coming out as well.
Decent damage boost with the Sacred Relic. I feel like they can take this. He's hitting pretty hard on that Doosa. SCCC Dream straight away with the stars, and now the Snowball. Fate's Edict will be there in time, but the Ice Blast flying out. He does go on to SCCC. He'll Song. He'll Stampede away.
Oh no.
Cold Feed.
No.
It's all the TP of SCCC.
Oh
They take him
my.
down. Fate Beyond cleans him up. Oh, that is not how you wanted to go down. Sometimes you forget that the cold feet's still going, and whoop, that's rough. That is definitely rough for SCCC.
That is a lot coming out from here. That's going to allow them to take this Roche. They spend the song, and they couldn't get the Naga out. Like, they just got to break that distance. Still Aster smoked up. Want to punish, just moving from Ehome. You don't have your Naga though.
XXS, nice hoop stop off the break, and they follow up. Oh, plus they're actually melting him quite far. But he's already found two. Sin-Q and Sylar going down. Now the buybacks, nothing to say. Force the Stone Gaze up, but nobody's around him. They'll leave the Roshan be.
Double damage.
Aster gonna move back in. XXS, he has a double damage rune. Well, has Retaliate as well, so he can hit very hard. He's gonna start. Can they get this Roshan quick enough? Faith, he just used the orb, so he can't really jump in and steal, but he's got another orb available. We're going down at the blast. Aegis is there on XXS. He does snatch it. They'll find the Roshan kill at least on the side of Ehome. And Faith beyond, he will manage to jump out of there. So at least he gets the Roshan kill.
They get the gold. You would much prefer that Aegis. Still, the Aegis is forced onto XXS. It's not the best Aegis carrier for the side of Aster, but that is still an objective kind of created for Ehome. Like, the gold is nice, I suppose. And the Aegis is still nice to have for Aster. So that's going to give XXS just a little bit more leeway in this initiation. We still, you know, just seeing that power of the Centaur there in the pit, the blink in, the hoof stomp. You'd expect Ehome to be a bit more ready. Like, they were not. They just couldn't counterplay that easy enough. They let off the Stone Gaze a bit too late, and Aster just managed to punish quite well. They do give themselves a slight, 14, 10, 25 minutes in. Less than 1k the way of Aster. A lot of that is on SCC. It's still trailing behind Medusa.
Team Boyle, Faith beyond, jumps in, Ice Blast gonna fly out. It's just Faith, Stampede being committed. They're gonna try and fight this. Why? He gets caught out from the AA now. And it looks like Ehome, they want to get out. Sylar though, being caught up. He does have Battle Trance. He's gonna have to commit it here, but he'll hold on for now. Now he'll commit, but they're holding him down with the Diabolic. Fate is eating. And well, Sylar falling very, very low. He does go down in the end. Aster still looking very strong at that 25-minute mark. Ehome falling a bit flat. They'll have to back out.
We're hitting that point where SCCC is just about to get his heart, and once that's up and running for Sonata, it's just that much harder to deal with. Take a look at nothing. He's queued up the BKB first, so he's gonna finish the BKB before the Divine. That does the damage. It's gonna take a bit longer, but the control won't be there longer. So at the very least, Medusa is gonna be free to do whatever they want in this team fight still. That just landed. Sylar right now with what he has just does not do the job. That hasn't finished up that BKB, and you can see once more the SCCD heart up and running. They feel pretty damn safe.
Can't blame them. The same. Probably finish off the Divine now that he has that magic community built. Aster though, gonna be feeling fairly confident up until that point. Because he can't really not get the BKB because Divine, while your Decrepify does nothing, so no real point to the Divine without the BKB being there.
Yeah, and
so, yeah.
You take a look at win probability. It's 50-50 now. It has been fairly even, slightly even. We're back to a coin flip for either side.
That seems pretty fair, I think. I mean, it does seem like Aster has a slight advantage right now, but it could go either way as they do find Sin-Q on the task. Pick him up into the hoof stomp, and Nether Blast flies in. Sin-Q has Snowball if he really wants to. In fact, he's just going to make a run for it. Throws out the shots. Now the Snowball is there. He understands he's going to die anyway. He'll just waste some time. And Aster continue moving forward, trying to find more pickoffs before that Divine Rapier is online. Nothing to say. He's going to have it at about 1k gold. After that, I have a feeling Aster might be a little bit too afraid to initiate.
Yeah, it's harder for to take these fights. Of course, they are chasing fairly deep to find Fate. It's a bit disruptive in that puck. Still.
Takes a courier out for trouble. XXS will lose it. Link TP
Oh,
away.
no.
XXS does not grant the stun.
That was
Just had it,
close.
but he needed to throw it out immediately.
That would have been close. That would have been a nice kill to have, of course. Still, not the biggest loss in the world. That courier probably a bit more costly in the end. You do see Chuan going for the Dagon build on the Pugna. I like seeing that. Just burst through these heroes, not the tankiest ones, except for Medusa, once the talents kick in, but as is. It is going to be harder to eat through. Again, you have that Naga to deal
Radiant's
with.
middle tower is under
And
attack.
once you have that Dagon, once the mana shield is fine, it can be very easy to just burn through the remaining HP of Phantom Say, which is much. It's not much for this kind of build. The gold is up for the Divine. The courier is flying out.
Teamfight about to start as well. It would have been lovely if they had it about 20 seconds ago, but Aster going to start moving forward. Ehome really don't want this teamfight. Not until they get that item up, but they do find Sin Q. Snowball will be there in time. Now the Dream Core comes out with the Ice Blast, and the Snowball, it snaps! Sin Q, he's in the middle of all this, but they're going to lose Chuan on the Pugna. Silent moving forward with the BKB, and the Stone Gate is being popped by Nothing to Say. They'll find SCC with the Defusal. SCC will BKB, or rather will Song TP away. Nothing to Say does now have the Divine. Apparently it was not necessary.
They get some good kills there, unfortunately not finding that Naga Siren, but they do manage to force out the Song, force out the Stampede. This is an opening for them. They don't have the Stone Gaze, so perhaps they're going to take it easy just for a bit. But the Divine up and running on Nothing to Say does mean that Ehome can take these fights. They've been hesitating for a very long time with this item up on the Medusa. I don't think there's anything Aster wants to do with this. You know, they would not want to fight into this. Oh man, the damage is just too much. Oh.
Orb destruction as well, so Sila's gonna have a very nice time with that. Nothing to Say. Gonna go for that Satanic next. He may feel like he needs a Satanic just to be 100% safe. So they're more than happy to wait for Aster to be the ones to initiate, I'm sure. We'll see. What are you going for? It's like he... Is that an Orchid?
Yeah, looks like a Bloodthorn, yeah, into a Bloodthorn. Just to have that control, it's efficient, gives him a little bit more control. I don't think they've been lacking in control though, and the BKBs are there on the side of Ehome, like even Fate Beyond at this point finishes up a BKB. So it's going to be harder to get that item potential. Surprising we don't see something like the Butterfly come out. That tends to be the go-to, although, yeah, no, it doesn't look like it. Like, no Butterfly.
Lane, Sila gets caught out. XXS was there with the hoof stomp. They just blew him up after that. Top lane, they start roaming up towards there, trying to find another target. They won't find anybody. Sin Q will TP up. A nice pick up there on Sila. That may make them feel confident enough to start making another push happen on the side of Aster. There is only one outer tower outstanding though for Ehome, so they've got to make the decision. Do you want to push the tier 2 or the tier 3? Perhaps they won't even choose either. As
Radiant's
looks
top
like they're not
tower
really
is
going to
under
go for a
attack.
push, but rather try to find more pickoffs. Why? We'll get caught up by the hoof stomp. Say he's happy to fight. There's the Dream Core flying out. XXS going to be the target. Nothing to say. Not doing as much damage as you'd think, but it is the Centaur with the craggy coat. He is very tanky. Still Walrus Punch, Ice Blast will fly out. Life Chain will do nothing, and they will find the XXS kill.
Yeah, it's a nice one to pick up. That is going to slow down your own objective push as well, but then you don't have the clearest disengage plan. Of course, you do lack your front line, your initiators taken out of the equation. That is enough time for Siler to be up and running as well. So, you know, manages to buy that time out, and Nothing to Say actually shift out of that Satanic, going for the Butterfly himself. Just wants to do all the damage here, not going for anything to help him sustain. Besides that BKB for DT.
Sometimes you just need damage. As I say, that's all he wants. Fade beyond. One being called out, although Aegon coming back from him. Fade will pop the BKB. But Boca gonna be there just in case he needs the false promise. That was actually a 10-second charge from Fade Beyond being expended for that. Bit of a waste.
It's just playing a bit too far forward, and they do have some nice wards there for they know B. Just not damage the puck more real and back. If those illusions got a couple more rip, why would have done that as well?
It'll be safe for now. I can say is farming up the Satanic once again. He is farming at a very fast rate. He already has the Reaper up. Pretty much almost has the whole item up. Aster, what do you do now? Looks like they're just going to try and finish off the Bloodthorn on SCCC. Even then though, I'm not sure if that's really going to be the enough. Seems like that's to focus down Sylar, but Sylar's not going to be the main issue here.
No. It would be helpful against Naga. Like, and with the Lincolns as for the Medusa. No Lincolns for the Medusa. There is a smoke for Ehome. Trying to near that war. Expect someone to come in.
They break the smoke, they jump on Exorcist, they get the Dream Call there, but it doesn't really latch onto anyone. Faith Beyond a bit of miss, and now they come back in silence, but he gets the BKB off. Still has Battle Trance, and he goes after XXS. Left Drain will be there. Faith Beyond, though, jumping in the back, going after the puck now. XCCC wants to try and turn this one around. Faith Beyond, he will blink out. Nothing to say, being chased out by Naga Illusion. Bursting down. Aster, do you really want to fight into this?
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Full way in. Fade gets the lift off. They down the A. Why? Should drop without the ice down the node. Survives for now. XXS can't find the kill either. Stampede is there to try and get out. The snowball is chasing XXS, getting caught. Sylar's life has been lost though, as well as Y. But it looks like Faith Beyond does find Chuan on the Pugnet to boot. So a 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah.
This shouldn't really lead to much. Both teams going back. No, they're going for a Roshan attempt. Sylar immediately buying back. They'll grab the Aegis unless Aster wants to contest.
It's got the song. You've got to be conscious about that. If you're, SCCC right there.
They also got the Stone Gauge. They do grab out the Boca on the Oracle, and yeah, he's gone. Nice pickup, immediate buyback from him. SCCC showing himself.
Oh no.
The song and what a chance coming out. Now the song comes out, but Sylar, he got the BKB off. This is really bad. Decrepify comes out on SCCC. He grabs the regenerator and runs for his life, but they found him. Dream Call's there. He's got no way out of this. The Ice Blast flies through. It does nothing, but there's the false promise. That'll keep him alive for now. Stone Gaze was also expended from Nothing to Say, and he's completely out of mana on that Medusa. He really wants that Aegis and cheese.
Radiant's mid
SCCC, how are you going to get into this? Walked in and well aimed. SCCC, he grabs it. He does manage to take it off the side of Ehome by just walking in. What? Stampede now. They're going to try to turn around. Nothing to Say, he cannot die. He does cheese up. He'll man up and just fight.
Radiant's middle
And Naga, Decrepifying up safe, and now SCCC does eventually lose the Aegis. Aster, ready to try and defend. They get the Deuce off. Straight off the Deucer. All her mana. She's out completely, but she's been decrepified up apparently. And she'll survive. They'll continue chasing though. Song? Oh, it's a great setup. This is massive. It's a 3-man hoop stop that XXS can get here. He does have mana for it though. Nevertheless, they are going to burst out. Nothing to Say. That's the Divine Rapier on the deck. Who picked it up? They're going for more. Sylar, he has the Divine. They found him as well. He'll drop it again on the deck. Faith Beyond, he picks it up now. It's a hot potato. They do manage to save that Divine. Aster just could not pick it up. Butterfingers.
That is terrifying. That is terrifying for you. There's nothing to say dropping there. SCCC allowed to lock in no song to steal that Aegis. How? What happened there? Ehome just kind of dropping the ball in that pit, punished hard. That's the dieback of Sylar. So he's not going to be up. And that's the buyback already out for Nothing to Say. He's giving up his second Divine now, which honestly I think you just go for, right? This game, There's really not much else you can do with a Medusa at this point, especially against the lineup Aster has. The Nogazarn is actually doing a lot of work now. You just want to burst her down fast, go for that Divine, and once that's up, that should be a much better time for Ehome. Of course, 25 talents up and running as well. Nothing to say opts for the modifiers on the split shot, so getting a lot of value from that Satan can be much harder to burst her down in a sustained fight. The issue is the disarms are always coming out now. The decrep is annoying to deal with. You've got the disarm from the Oracle as well, and that just breaks up the flow of the Medusa. They can't just stand there and fight, because they just stand there. And that just does nothing for Ehome.
Triple C gonna have the Abyssal Blade coming up soon now on the Nogazarn, so she'll be able to break that distance on the Medusa. Seeing the Stone Gaze not really doing too much in these team fights, there's nothing to say. Has been throwing it out very early, but Aster just turned their backs and run every time. Well, Sala is pretty underfarmed as well on the Troll. Like, he's only sitting at 12k net worth in comparison to the 25k of his Medusa and the 28k of the Nogazarn. Aster looking to make more plays. Sylar, he cannot get caught out. XXS though doesn't get the move stop now. Refusal up. They want to burst down this Centaur. Decrepify will save for now. They'll force stuff from now, but Faith Beyond straight in the back of the Dream Core. Now the Life Train and Stampede being committed, but it's all for naught, or maybe it's not. False Promise will make it in time from Baboka. They'll save XXS, but now they've got to back onto SCCC. He does song up. He set up a nice song as well. They're all lined up right now, but they aren't going to initiate Aster. They want to get out of there. And Ehome, they will not get their chance. Back Nevermore, XXS jumps back in. Sylar gonna be in trouble, falling below. Does he have Battle Trance? He does. He won't pop it yet. Now he does. Going after that XXS Centaur, still Decrepify again from Chuan, saving the day. Now Fate's Edict. It won't save Chuan. XXS jumping in, trying to get a hoof stomp up. He won't find a Faith Beyond. He'll find the trade surely. He'll have Orb in a minute, and he will commit. Yes, we'll see. You need to get out of there, sir. Nothing to say. He's out of mana, but this is still a very, very dangerous Medusa.
Oh, just
let it go.
Really tight trade from both sides. It looked really bad for everyone, but Aster just hesitating to counterfight there a couple of times. But managed to find as much as they want. They do get Sylar once more. His buyback still on cooldown, but they lose their Pugna with no buyback, and they lose XXS as well on that Centaur. Still gonna be pretty okay with that Ehome. At the very least, they found those 2 kills for themselves. They are slowly falling behind them. Nogazarn is trying to take over this game. The Abyssal's definitely up in the gold now, and I'm not sure that with enough gold for buyback. It doesn't look like it is. There's gonna be a bit more until that item's up and running. And once it's up, you saw what was happening. SCCC was moving towards, and the damage from Nothing to Say was lackluster. It didn't look like there was much damage at all. So if SCCC gets a clear path to that Medusa, then Nothing to Say is just gone, especially with that Abyssal up and running. There's just nothing to Say can do. And that's a scary situation. You're hanging off the back of this Divine on the Medusa to win them fights.
Well, he's going for a Bloodthorn now. So rather than getting that secondary Divine, he just wants to get the crit going with the Silence. Also got a Minotaur Horn, so he holds that with his own BKB. That will help him tank up a bit. Will help him avoid some of the spells being thrown out.
Illusion.
They'll stick together, Ehome. Sylar just has to keep farming up though. I mean, he is so far behind in net worth.
Yeah, he's basically a non-factor in these fights. Like, all he is a distraction right now for Aster. Like, he's just not doing the damage, he's not sustaining himself. He did sacrifice all of his farm for the Medusa, so it is understandable why he's there. They're just buying so much into Nothing to Say that there's really not much room on the map to farm up. Even Fate Beyond has more, but he's been setting up the plays, finding his kills, so he's escalated a little. In fact, Fate Beyond has not died at all for Ehome, so that's one bright side, I suppose. Like, Fate Beyond's been performing quite well. It's just so far the it's been very hard for Ehome to find objectives. Like, you look at that map, all outer tower gone for Ehome, it's been gone for a while. Aster still have a tier 1 down bot.
Wait a minute. They just got a Princess Knife on the Medusa.
Yep.
And she's got the level 25 talent for split shot modifiers. Does that mean she hexes everyone she hits on the first shot?
Actually, I'm actually not sure how that works. Like, which one will count as the first? Is it literally the first projectile to hit, so the closest target gets hexed, or? We'll find out, I suppose. That it's not broken if it registers all as the first hit, but we'll find out. It sounds too random. It just chooses whoever. So I would say logically it should be the first projectile to land. Those two in logic don't necessarily go hand in hand.
No, they definitely don't. For both teams in a bit of a stalemate. 4k net worth lead for Aster, but Dota Plus is saying there's a 59% chance Ehome win this game out. So I think these teams have broken Dota Plus. Has no clue what's going on.
Probably just the Medusa effect. Double lines. This has happened before. Usually when you give enough space for Medusa to bite it out, well, you've got issues getting up against that Medusa. Still, I think the response from Aster is looking strong enough. Right? Damage is just lackluster. There is smoke from Aster. They're going to try to find something, but no vision on the map on the opposing side. And they are going in a bit blind, but they do see Siler mid.
Still nice kill. Siler, not going to expect this. Lift is going to be there with the hoof stop at the follow-up. They look to blow him up, and that's exactly what they do. Ehome still smoked up. Do they want to really fight this? The buyback comes out. They'll get the hex drop into XXS. Just try and burst down this tanky Centaur. And XXS, yeah, he's gone. Dream Call on the back as well, catching up that Oracle. He's still leashed up. Beyond pops the BKB. Going after the Oracle. Can he get up a Boca? Stampede comes out. Centaur has brought back once again. Juan, he'll go down to Silent on the Troll. And they aren't dying on the side of Ehome. Another buyback from Aster. It's a 5v5 all over again. But Ehome has already backed off. They're happy with what they got.
A prize.
What have they? Waiting on the high ground. Roshan's up. Both teams are waiting for the other one to jump in, and I feel like we've experienced this before.
Oh yeah. The same sort of situation at hand once more. I mean, look at this game, it's just so even. 26 to 23, 46 minutes in, less than 1k lead for Aster. And side just locked in a bit of a deadlock. It just feels way even, although you still the illusion rune, but posturing around mid. They both know to roach us up. Both of them don't want to give it away. What happened last time though was that they won't give away the Aegis, and they don't want that to happen. It's looking tough. They can't kill off Aster fast enough.
They're gonna start running to the Roche pit, but smoke's up. There was a ward scouting that smoke out, I believe. So they won't be expecting this, Ehome. Oh, the dream call onto 3 straight away. Faith Beyond, he found him immediately. And now the Hex is there on the Nagasardi and Triple C. He's been silenced.
Oh no.
They just saw the smoke.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh. They buy back immediately. They don't want to give the Roche away. We have seen this situation. They found out 2 kills. They go to the pit, and SCCC last time just took. They just this time around not gonna force that Roche just yet. They do pull back to clear out waves. Faith Beyond not in the area. Probably not the best time for Ehome to put that objective out. But Aster gonna have to play a bit cautious. That back on SCCC. One missed fight, one wrong fight, and Aster is just out. They are behind 1 game. This is on them to win. They've got to play
up now.
Yeah, that is big. Like that healing potential now is going to sustain Aster for a very long time.
10%.
Really, consider how tanky they are already. Like XXS is just going to be back to full, and you have to burst them all over again. It's just not possible. You've got the Oracle there as well. All the sustain is going to cause massive issues for Ehome, who still lack damage.
Roshan will get started. Courier picking up this out from the far end. SCCC has Song this time, so he doesn't just have to walk in. Can commit the song first. I can say as well, almost got enough gold for that secondary Divine Rapier, but he may just keep it in the base just as a security Divine. Just in case he loses it. Thinking about that high ground. Faith gets the wall.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Still both teams playing around with each other here, and Aster, they are just sticking around that Roche pit, just waiting for the right moment.
Middle tower is under attack.
Ehome doing exactly the same.
Radiant's courier has
He's
been
got that buyback status, and Aster does not have
Gone.
They do find SXS, they can burst it down ASAP. He does have Stampede, but he's been silenced up by that Bloodthorn once again. SXS, he does get Tripified though and will run away. Meanwhile though, they did find Baboka on the Oracle. Still False Promise will be forced out. Sylar didn't do enough damage yet, but Faith Beyond going now after Fade. The Rubik will get dropped. This Puck with the Spell Prism can just jump around so often. All his abilities are on such a low cooldown now. Say, we jump in, Exodus will get started, but he is surrounded. Sylar will get it, although SCCC, there's the song coming out. Exodus back up to full HP now. Doesn't have anything to commit, and he's
boy.
not afraid. He wants that Centaur. In fact, never mind, they pick up the Naga, they got the silence off. He caves and runs. But no BKB, just fine, but they found Baboka on the Oracle. SCCC still running. The shards are there from CQ, just holding him in place. He would throw the illusions out. Chuan trying to help Fate. He'll use the BKB and bring Core once again. Still this Naga trying to run away. Where's the damage output? The Medusa, she's coming in now. There's the damage coming out. XXS gets the Crepified again from Chuan. They can't kill anyone off yet, but there's the Yules holding XXS down. Bloodthorn as well. He's still not dead. Decrepify again from Chuan. They need to get rid of this partner. They'll get Baboka. Perhaps now, maybe you just go into the Roche pit. In fact, SCCC takes a haste rune. It's going to start pushing in that mid wave. Faith Beyond, though, will be there to push with nothing to say.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Man, you get big kills like that, you just can't find anything else. The tankiness is a major issue. There is the bold advantage now towards Ehome. You do have enough to buy out that second Divine, and let me say that he is holding out on the buyback for now. They're going to be playing it secure. Still Aster, not quite to pull this one off, and Faith Beyond is being quite disruptive.
Faith Beyond, the Dream Call again setting up Sylar. He'll move in. Dances as well. He goes straight onto the Centaur, pops the BKB. Decrepify again from Chuan, saves the day, but they defuse that. Now after the Naga. Oh no. SCCC is falling low. They can't help him out. He does go down. He has no buyback.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, second
Had
Divine.
buyback off on cooldown for 3 minutes.
Okay, is that second Divine?
Uh-oh.
That's it. It's going to be hard. Now, the defense is still possible, but that's 100 seconds with no Naga. That's the response to the Medusa. She's moving very slow. No boots.
He will take the axe. Won't use it on himself yet, though. He'll just hold on. May as well give it to the Medusa. Whatever it does, I guess. The Mystic Snake Stone, I think it is, right? The Aghanim's upgrade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Potent, very potent these fights.
Dire's middle tower.
And there you go. Objectives.
It's a lot of damage. They found Chuan with the Dream Call again. Fate setting up.
Are fortified.
Nothing to say. He wants T4s, but he'll have to get a T3 first. Still another minute for this Naga Siren to respawn. There's the T3 going down, and nothing to say. Manta's up. Straight into that T4 tower. So much damage being dealt. They're going to jump in soon. XXS goes after Sylar, but the play did a save, and now the BKB Sylar. He goes after the T4s and straight after the Ancient. They've had enough of this game. It's going to be GG. And in what a fashion, Ehome, with double Divines, will take down the Ancient and 2-0 Aster. And they will be going straight to the ESL